Hey, it's Eric. Question was, how do I use subs, or give an example of how I use subs. So I have a business partner, and he's not too keen on subs, and I like the idea of subs, but he doesn't, so we don't do much of it. And the only time that we use subs is in the wintertime for snow plowing. And honestly, we could use a lot more subs because we get tons of work, way more than we can handle because there's just more. I don't know. We get a lot of work for it, and we turn a lot of it down. So it's one of those things where, if you, how many people do you want to employ in the wintertime to get stuff done? Do you want to buy more equipment specifically for snow, which is not a bad idea. I'm not saying that's not bad. It's just I guess we're not that aggressive to the point where we want to do that. I passed up a really nice commercial job because they were doing it themselves. They were kind of like a contractor in-house, and they didn't have enough time to do that anymore, so they wanted somebody to come in and do their plowing for them. And we had to say no because we were already overbooked for the season. Because if they would have contacted us in the late summer, fall, I mean, we would have made it happen for sure. We would have figured out how to do it. But it's just one of those things where you're relying on someone that they're gonna have their stuff that always comes before your stuff. So um, I'm thinking that I have actually a good friend of mine who's in runs a business in the same area as me, and he does a lot of hardscaping, or he does more hardscaping than I do, I should say. And I know him and I trust him, and I probably would sub him out specifically on hardscaping and retaining walls rather than if it has any skill to it. I mean, if it's a 12 by 12 patio, well, I'm not going to do it either. I'm not efficient at it. I don't know how to do it, and I don't right now have someone that's in our organization that is skilled at that, and that's not what we focus on, is that kind of stuff. So that's something where I take on the job, do all the planting, install the mulch, or install the rocks or whatever it might be, and then have them do the patio aspect and just bid it into the price or something like that. And I'd only do that for clients that I already have a relationship with. Otherwise, if I didn't have a relationship, I would just say, hey, this is a really good buddy of mine. You should give him a call. I know he does great work, and sometimes the referral is, worth its weight in gold for what he gives me, because he gives me a lot of business as well. So that's kind of my opinion on subbing out work. I think it's a good idea. I like the idea of it, especially if you are pricing your work at the higher end of the spectrum. And most subs, the reason they're getting subbed out is because they have no clue how to market, and they're very good at their trade, so they're kind of like a starving artist. And you know, I'm not saying you rip them off, but I'm just saying you can make good money by really doing nothing and having them show up and not having to worry about uh, whether your guys are working as hard as they should be or whatever else, because you have a fixed price, and then they just need to make sure they're bringing the quality. But that's the thing that you're putting your name on something that they control, so it better be good, and they better show up. Otherwise, you could see how that could be an issue, and they could sabotage you because they want. And this has happened to me, and I don't think it was because of this, but it was just because their clients came before me, which ended up, what it does is it makes me look bad because now I'm the company that's holding the contract, and I'm the guy that's not delivering on what I said I was going to do, when really it's this other guy that, you know, it's one of those deals where there's companies that do a lot of it and there's companies that don't, and I haven't tried to figure it out, because I think if you want to be a subcontractor and you want to sub work out to somebody, you have to give them enough work that you're actually important enough for them to pass up a $2,000 job because you're giving them $10,000 each month, and they don't want to screw up the relationship that they have with you. If you can't do that, then you have a situation where you're always going to be second, even though you need them right away. Hopefully that helps. Talk to you later.